Welcome back to We Still Like Each Other, the podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Stephanie.
And this is the podcast where we show that the honeymoon stage can last forever.
Or until Wednesday. That's what Travis said before we started. I don't know what's happened on Wednesday.
Why Wednesday?
I don't. You said until Wednesday.
Wednesday's a special day now.
What's happening Wednesday?
It's our catch-up day.
Oh, wow. I didn't even put that in my notes. Are we talking about that?
Not all of it.
So what do you want to share?
We're going to have, so we do a weekly podcast.
Uh-huh.
But we're professionals. We, as soon as the lights go on, we're in podcast mode. But it's not a real catch-up.
Okay.
So we're going to have actual catch-ups off camera where we're just talking about our marriage, our finances, our parenting, and just make sure we're on the same page, because sometimes it's, as you've pointed out, it's easy to, or you can easily miss that we're not on the same page. Is that pretty accurate?
I more so feel the importance of it is to hold each other accountable. I feel like we make a lot of plans and we set a lot of goals and we'll be on board, and then we never talk about it for like a few weeks, a few months. And it's like, what happened to that thing we were supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
So I feel like the weekly meetings are more so to stay on the same page, stay on track for things. But I guess a byproduct of that is making sure we're on the same page. What's something we haven't been on the same page about? Now I'm prying because I didn't even think you would mention it. At least not yet.
Just financial goals.
Okay.
Our future goals, things of that nature.
I don't necessarily think our financial goals are different. Maybe a little bit. But I feel like how we're going to get there, the execution.
The journey might be different. Two different roads we might have envisioned to reach.
One that makes sense and one that's just a dream. No, let me stop. But yeah, we are going to have those. I guess we'll touch base on those after we've had a few and hashed it out.
Yeah.
So besides that, how was your week?
Damn, I usually have something prepared.
Nothing.
Well, River's not here, I'll tell you. I imagine my week kind of going like hospital, home, newborn, like, hey guys, look at River.
I know. We will hope he's here, but he's in my big old belly.
So, yeah, I mean, that's all I've been thinking about all week.
Monday, we found out how big he is.
So he's measuring, but we know those machines can be off. He's measuring 8 pounds, 3 ounces.
Yeah. But there's a 10% margin of error. So he could be a little lighter or a little heavier.
I'm hoping he's lighter, just for the sake of a smooth delivery.
He's worried about my vagina.
But honestly, I really don't want you to get a cesarean.
I know.
I just know that it's not just the body that takes a change, it's a mental thing too. And not that I don't think you're mentally strong, I just don't want you to have to overcome that hurdle. So it's a big wish of mine that we can just do this vaginal.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Mentally, like for me, it's not about like it doesn't change the fact that I'm bringing my kid into this world. I know for some people it's like that stigma, like it's not the same as like pushing him out. I don't believe that. I feel like mentally for me it's just like a cesarean's a major surgery. That's what like, and you having to see like my guts on the table. Like I don't want to see, like I don't want to go through that.
I'm going to be this close to you. Like, it's okay, baby. It's okay.
Don't look over the curtain. But yeah, I've been wanting to go into labor mainly because of his size. The longer he cooks, the heavier he's gonna get.
I know this is nothing for me to say, but I'm so ready for this to be over with. And it's like the man feeling like he's ready for it to be over with.
Why? What are you sick of? What are you tired of?
Just the wobbles, the pains you get.
Okay.
It's not anything like, I think you're in a weird way, like even more attractive pregnant.
Okay.
So I don't know what that says about
So
me.
you gotta get me pregnant every year.
But it's not anything negative why I want it to be over. I'm just ready for him. Like I've said numerous times, I just want him to be here, chilling, watch. He could have seen SpiderMan with us yesterday.
No, he would not.
But yeah, I'm just ready to see like where, because he's already impacted our lives so much and he's still in your belly. So I can only imagine how much more he will once he's out in the world.
Definitely. So I'm hoping he's home for Christmas. So this episode will air like the week before Christmas, basically, like the week of Christmas.
Yeah, airs Sunday, yeah.
So
that's why I got my Mariah Carey shirt on.
And I got my red dress on with my little Christmas tree earrings that I got from this cute small business called Soul E Soul. So I'll tag them on Instagram just because I actually won them in a giveaway they had, and I'm very proud of them. They're super cute. So speaking of Christmas, we owe our listeners the tea.
Well,
on spilling the news to Eli.
Well, even before that, we decided, well, Steph needed to get her steps in, so we thought we'd kill two birds, go see the Rockefeller tree, and do some walking. A lot of people.
Yeah.
So we went, downtown to see the Rockefeller tree, and it was pretty nice. I had a good time.
But I was like, this is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah. So story time.
To tell Eli the truth about Santa. Know the truth now?
I do know the truth.
Because everyone on TikTok thinks you really don't know.
TikTok and Instagram set me straight.
Yeah.
So I am aware.
Yeah.
I had to cry it out a little. But we went to a Starbucks in the area, sat down. We got coffee. He got a hot cocoa. We all got like little snacks. And then I kind of looked at you like, are we doing this? He's like, yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the conversation started. So,
do you remember how it started, or you want me to kick it off? Travis sucks.
No, did we bring up SpiderMan?
First, I asked him like, "What do you know about Santa Claus?"
Yeah, okay.
And he was giving us like,
You tell a story. I'll fill in the blank.
You fill in the blank. He lives in the North Pole. He has elves in a factory that help him build the gifts, and then they bring them to children he mentioned reindeers, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
He said reindeers and Rudolph's in the front.
Yeah. Like he gave us that hope, but very animated. He was super into it, very excited. And then they have this, and they in the North Pole, and they build it in the workshop. Like he was 100% excited, telling us all about Santa. So my heart is like, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. So then we said, okay, what can you tell us about Spider-Man? So he told us like details about Spider-Man.
Yeah, went into very detailed details about that.
And then we said, okay, so is Spider-Man like a real person, or is there someone acting like Spider-Man? So then we used that angle. And then he brought up Tom Holland and how Tom Holland is British. So this is the part of the story that's funny as hell. So we're like, yes, he's British, exactly. But in the movie, he doesn't have a British accent. He's playing an American boy.
Who's playing Spider-Man, or who is Spider-Man?
Who is Spider-Man, it's like pretend. But that doesn't make Spider-Man any less cool, right? Yeah. And we're like telling him like that Spider-Man is still super, super awesome, right? So then I said, well, Santa Claus is just like Spider-Man. And Eli said,
he's British?
Yo.
So Steph and I
literally almost pissed my pants.
We were cracking up in that start. Like we couldn't say anything else. Like I had my hand on my face for like a minute straight, just laughing.
Like we could not gather ourselves when he said, and then the expression on his face, like, he's British? Like, oh shit. Like that was the shocker. We were crying.
So once we gathered ourselves, it's like, no, he's not British. He's fictional.
Yeah.
So
he's a character. People believe in the magic just like we believe in superheroes. It doesn't take away from how beautiful this time of year is. But And then he said, wait. Like, I could see it in his face that he was like taken aback and feeling a little sad. He goes, wait, but he's real? He's not real. Like, he was like confused. It's like, no. And he's like, my brain is telling me to be sad, but I'm not going to be sad because I knew he wasn't real. Like, he was trying to act a little tough.
Yeah.
What else did he ask? So then we asked about the gifts. Well, since he's not real, who's actually bringing you gifts? And then I think he asked, like, wait, so he doesn't bring gifts? Like, it wasn't really fully processing. And I was like, no, so who do you think gets you gifts? He goes, he says, you and daddy? I'm like, yes. He's like, okay. Man, I really wanted Santa to bring me some gifts.
And then, we assured him that, you're still going to get gifts, but we just wanted you to be aware of how these gifts are getting here. Mm-hmm. But we're still going to enjoy the spirit of Christmas and what it means. And
we warned him about not telling his friends at school, like if kids believe in it, not to ruin the magic for them. And I told him that's practice for when he has a little brother and he has to, let him believe in certain things. So we haven't decided what we're doing with the River yet.
Yeah. I don't think he's too bummed. I think we took the right angle with SpiderMan and, Christmas. Like, they can both still be fun and entertaining, but this is the truth.
Yeah.
I think he did great.
Right. So something I wanted to talk about today to add to this conversation is a listener actually messaged me and said that there are kids. So, for example, parents are pretending to be Santa. Santa buys you gifts, puts you on the naughty list, the nice list. What if your parents, no matter how good you have been, no matter how nice you've been all year, can't afford to play Santa? What do you think that kid's going to feel?
So they're still believing in Santa.
They're believing in
and
Santa.
Then Christmas
They've been
comes
nice
around.
all year, and then Christmas comes and they don't have any gifts.
So are you saying then it's even better that they know the truth?
Yes.
Because then it's like, mom and dad are, we can't
afford it. They love me. They provide in other ways. We have happy moments. But there isn't this character that I'm supposed to be proving my worth to that's going to bring me toys.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
All right. That makes total sense.
And then as a teacher, I thought about, in school, who the good kids are. Who the kids, there's no bad kids, but the kids who maybe are disrespectful to the teacher or have repeatedly failed to complete work. They come back after winter break and they're like, I got a PS5. And then your star student who's like so respectful, has turned in all their work, got like, a remote control car from like the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Like what is that really teaching them about earning things or?
Yeah. I very vividly remember being younger and seeing some badass kids with the latest J's around Christmas and fly gear. And I mean, I'm sure they didn't believe in Santa, but it's back to your point.
What if the other kid, there are
other kids looking at him like, what the fuck?
Like, what do I do? Like, did I do something wrong? And then they might start to feel like something they did was wrong, putting on guilt. It's a little like, it could be very heartbreaking for kids when it comes to money.
So I am happy that we told them. I'm happy it's out the way. And I did see like this narrative of people saying, people just, you want your kids to know you're doing this so bad, like you're the ones. And that at least that wasn't it for us. I don't care about taking any credit for gifts. Like Eli knows, like these lights are on because of me.
But what's so wrong with that though? Especially when you come from poverty and you're working really hard to buy your kids things. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's not our motive. It's not like we want Eli to give us the praise. Like he praises us every day. He loves the hell out of us,
Yeah.
But I feel like if there is a family, there is a parent that has that feeling like, I want them to know it was me, that's okay. And that's not our place to judge them for it.
Yeah. Everyone, you parent the way you think is best. As long as you aren't harming your child, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And this was our moment, and we felt it was the right moment. And now we're moving on.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to have to keep reinforcing it, though, and reminding him. Because I feel like I brought it up, and he kind of forgot.
But like even today, we went to Target really quick, and whereas normally we would have probably hid when we went to buy wrapping paper.
We picked it out in front of him.
We're going to buy wrapping paper.
Yep. We would have definitely did that like on the low before.
Exactly.
Yeah. You ready to wrap gifts?
No?
I should wrap them soon.
I mean, I could wrap them.
Ooh.
I can rap.
Okay.
I got bars.
All right. So our first topic today is kind of on the not so happy fun side. Coincidentally, after we recorded our episode with Kiara Luna, where I did open up about the murder-suicide in my family, a man in Baltimore commits double murder-suicide.
Yes.
On his girlfriend and his ex-wife.
Correct.
It kind of is like, even though I've prepared for this, just saying it again, especially after such a happy topic, is like, it puts a damper on your spirit. And in the episode with Kiara Luna, we also talk about domestic violence and the signs of domestic violence. So if you haven't listened to that episode, I suggest you do. On YouTube, in the description, we also list numerous resources for people who need help if they are in abusive relationships. You have any thoughts so far before I go on?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the video before you. And I was just kind of like in shock.
So what's the video? What was on the video?
So the video, I forget his name. Do you have his name?
I don't want to say his name.
So this guy is on Facebook Live and basically explaining that, up to the people that have joined that, like I've been having these issues seeing my kids and this woman lying on me saying I think that he touched his kids or some type of sexual abuse. So now he's been having issues with the courts and getting his kids, but he's been fighting and fighting for them. He goes, I never thought I'd be this type of guy, but I just shot so-and-so in the head.
Referring to his girlfriend.
His girlfriend.
So at this point in the Facebook Live, he already murdered his pregnant girlfriend.
I think she had the baby.
I thought she was pregnant.
No, I'm pretty sure the baby's born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so shot her. Still very calm. And he's walking up to an apartment complex and basically saying, now I'm going to go do the person that started this, referring to his ex-wife, because he also has issues with her and seeing his kids. And shortly after saying this, I guess she's like comes to the door and sees him. And he says something to the effect like, today's the day. And the live ends. And then the article is out that he killed her and then himself. So
the ex-girlfriend was pregnant at the time.
She was pregnant.
She was shot.
Okay.
I want to just restate a part of the video that you mentioned because that part was so like triggering for me. When she opens the door and he's heading towards her, he said, "Oh, today is the day." What does that, when you hear someone say that, what comes to mind? Like, why would he say something like that? Like, today is the day.
Like, maybe like there were other times that I didn't kill you, but this is the one.
This is the one. So that means I instantly assumed he has threatened her with this before. He has mentioned it. He has stated it because he's like, today is the day. Today is the day. I've been talking all that when I'm frustrated, but I mean it now. And that's so triggering to me because I always say when it comes to that kind of abuse, like, believe them when they tell you, oh, he was just upset or she was just upset. Don't take those threats lightly. And of course, I look into the case afterwards, and his ex-wife had previously filed numerous attempts at getting orders of protection, and they were all denied.
So before you read off those facts, right, I wanna say like where my thought process went when this was slowly coming out.
Okay.
And of course, murdering anyone because you're having any type of disagreements is not ever the answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be honest and say that my head went to a place of, is it possible? And I think I even asked you this question. Is it possible that these women were lying on him? Because we've heard stories like that before. Like, oh, he touched the kids. He can't be around them. So I think I asked you a question like, do you think he would have gone as far as murdering them if there was any truth to him actually touching his kids? And I think you said something to like, yeah, people will like lie to the grave. So I did have those thoughts, like, and not at all trying to like excuse what he did or rationalize his mindset, because to me, he just went out bad.
Yeah.
Because even if there was any truth to what he was saying, who cares at this point?
Yeah. And I also feel like the person he was accusing of lying was the ex-wife, and he murdered the girlfriend first, right? And even if it was a lie, a person who was well-intended would never resort to killing these women who are the mothers of small children. His ex-wife has children with him. And then after looking into it, he has threatened to do this multiple times.
Yeah.
And the sad part is they never granted her an order of protection. They were always denied.
Do you know what state this was in?
Baltimore is in Maryland. In Baltimore. In one order she wrote, he threatened to kill me with a gun. In another order she wrote that he said, I'm coming for you. And she said, I'm terrified because I do not know what he's capable of. I do not feel that I am safe. I feel that I am in danger. I'm also going to read an actual written statement that was found. And again, this is like a little triggering. He proceeded to remove property that belonged to our children which he has not returned. On Friday, September 7th, he took our children without communicating beforehand and did not return them to me when I asked. On Saturday, September 8th, he removed my cell phone from my jacket pocket. He has pushed, shoved, threatened, and bitten me in the past. I am afraid of him and his anger, and do not want him to know where I live. He has access to weapons, guns, and he's been known to abuse drugs and alcohol. He has also threatened to beat the kids or shake the baby, and has been abusive to our small dog. Sometimes have made suicidal threats that were very frightening. And her order of protection was still denied. He was still granted full access to where she lived because of the children, despite all these concerns. So what the fuck? Who's responsible here?
I think the court is responsible. That's who grants the order of protection, right? The courts are responsible. He's responsible, I think. I think that's about it. It's fucked because now you have kids who don't have any parents. Whether or not he was this insane person, he was still a parent to these kids, and now he's gone as well. So, like, what situation did you really fix other than making life harder for some other humans?
Yeah. And the reason I wanted to share this story was because in my story that I shared about my family, I don't know any of the history. I can't make any assumptions about red flags, about warnings, about who knew what. What I know is very minimal, and it's from 1995. So for this to be so fresh and for these written statements to be here, I feel like it might help someone, right, who might be too forgiving to someone, dismissing someone's threats when they speak in this way. And I would say, make sure you report it. Well, look what happened here.
I don't think this is always the case.
No, and I'm not saying don't report it, but I know it might not be enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like, what do women do at this point? Like when orders of protections are denied, like what is their next step? I know depending on where you live, your answer might be like, I need to be loaded myself. I need to have a weapon myself just in case. Right? Like I just can't even fathom like someone I know going through this and it being ignored. And I know that you had no ill intent in asking that question, but it kind of hurts like when people say, well, what if they were lying? And then you see this outcome.
That's why I wanted to make it really clear that even if they were lying, they didn't still deserve to die.
Of this, yeah. Yeah. And even in these reports, it mentions nothing about what he said in the video about like I was touching my kids or anything like that. It was all about her fears regarding her safety and his words, his actions. He abused a dog. That's a red flag. I do like if people could so easily hurt animals in anger, I feel like that's, the first step. That's like pre-abusing people. Because it's not about the animal, it's about the power dynamic, being bigger and stronger than someone else. And you can get away with it. Threatening to shake a baby? What? And Kiara mentioned last episode that a lot of times when women try to express being abused, they're like, were you actually hit?
As if that's the only type of abuse.
Did he or she actually physically hit you? But the threats to shake the kids, the beating the dogs, the I'm coming for you, the I know he has a gun and he abuses drugs and alcohol and I'm scared, that's not enough. Like something's got to give.
Yeah.
And how did he shoot the girlfriend and then just drive to the wife? Like, I wish I knew the timeline here, but what the hell?
It seemed like his adrenaline was pretty high, so I'm assuming it was pretty shortly after. Like he just, because, another thing he did say in the video, probably a big part of this was, I can't go to jail. Like I can't spend the day in jail. So
like he already knew that once he killed her, he was going to kill himself.
Yeah.
He said it. He was like, I'm next.
So with that being said, he went there with the intent of doing what he thought he had to do.
Mm-hmm. And that's where even the whole, like, let's say it was a big lie on him, right? One could argue, like, in the moment of frustration, but he murdered someone, got in his car, drove somewhere else, went on Facebook Live, clearly expressed like, it's her fault though, so I'm going to do her, but I can't go to jail, so then I'm going to do myself. Not like a crime of passion where it's like, boom, I killed somebody and now I'm panicked, I kill myself. Like this was all very intentional. This is an evil person with evil intent that committed a heinous crime. And I don't feel like there should be much sympathy towards him at all. There
definitely shouldn't be. I feel the worst for the kids. Mm-hmm. The kids involved, the families involved. It's a fucked up situation all around.
Mm-hmm. And I even feel bad for like for example, we're saying the court, right? Or the judge, whoever decided not to grant the order of protection. But I feel like they're also working within limits of the law. So maybe it's the laws that need to be looked at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like we just heard about that totally kind of connected, but that truck driver who got 110 years for an accident, like a legit accident.
Yeah.
And even the judge is like, I didn't want to give you this time, but
that's
it's
what
the law
requires me to do. the laws definitely need to be looked at. Because it's like, how are we are not mind readers. How are we to know if it's a lie or the truth? If the threat is there, if someone's saying they feel unsafe and there are children involved, steps should be taken to keep everyone involved safe. And then let the investigation figure it out, decide, if both parties feel like the threat is no longer there, like that's different. But to just assume that, oh, well, we don't have proof. You don't have a bruise on your face, so he didn't. He said he would shake the baby, but he didn't, so there's nothing we could do. It's kind of insane.
It is insane.
All right, so I'm ready to move on. That was very heavy.
On a lighter note.
We have an also y'all can relate. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So it is much lighter. It is still a very real relationship dynamic problem. It does have little notes of mental health and unlearning. Let's get into it. I feel like I'm gonna mess up the story. So this also y'all can relate is called "My Overthinking is Leading to Unhealthy Obsessive Behaviors." So this submission is from a woman in her early 20s and her relationship with her boyfriend who's in his mid-20s. We've been friends since September of 2020. We make a year of dating in February. Currently, I'm away at college, which is like a 5.5 hour away car ride from our hometown. I've been here since the end of August of 2021, and I visited for our birthdays, and he's come here too. Our main form of communication is texting. We don't really like FaceTiming that much, and we're not really too attached where a phone call every day is necessary, So right away, I was like, oh, hell no. I feel like you and I have had a conversation about dating in college is I couldn't even envision it. It was so toxic.
I always ask you what if I met you sooner, or you'd be like, oh, you wouldn't want one.
We met at the perfect time. I would never have trust any guy that I was in college with. Absolutely not. But in this case, he's older and living at home, and she's the one in college. Which also, the woman I am today, I'm like, oh, I wish she was just single and having fun in college and not worried about this relationship at home. But again, everybody's different. Every situation is different. And I'm not going to say you can't have a relationship in college. So let's keep going. He is absolutely the best human I have ever interacted with and have ever been with. Genuinely. I like to believe that I've done a lot of self-healing and unlearning of unhealthy mentalities to then meet someone else who is also emotionally mature and also going through his own unlearning. You don't really hear about men actually having their shit together like that. So once I realized he was like that, I had to get on that. He is so patient with me and so understanding. Sometimes I feel unworthy of having someone like that, which is maybe where what I'm about to share comes from. That not feeling worthy of something good. That's so common. Something feels too good to be true. What is it that in our psyche tells us we don't deserve good things?
It could have a lot to do with your upbringing, your family dynamic. It doesn't always have to connect to relationships. Sometimes it's, those lack of words of affirmation that even our parents give us, or because it's important to tell your kids they're worthy of good things. So you're saying she's in her early 20s. That's young.
Yeah,
that's still young. And it's kind of sad that she feels like that, so at this stage in her life. But I am hopeful that even though she's only in her early 20s, there's time to.
Sometimes it's also they hold on to a mistake they did make and they kind of never forgive themselves. I feel like that kind of reminds me of the last also y'all can relate. I struggle with a lot of overthinking. I'm not diagnosed with anything, but I do know I need to get checked out in general. And I overthink everything. Stephanie mentioned in an episode where she always thinks about the worst case scenario when she's driving over a bridge or some shit like that. That's me with so many things. I think worst case scenario. Like you also said, I've been trying to take away the power of these thoughts by just thinking afterwards like, this bridge has been here since forever. Like it's not gonna collapse on me the one time I'm on it. Shit like that, you know? And it works, but a lot of the times it doesn't. So I know for me, it took time for it to work really well. Like it was a lot of repeating it. Like maybe when I first tried it, it didn't do anything. And then a couple of times later, I had to say it multiple times and like breathe deep. And then eventually it's like easier. But I totally get it. How this comes into play in my relationship is I'm always overthinking about the fact that my boyfriend is cheating on me. And firstly, I know he's not. So at least I can acknowledge that. But it's like my subconscious can't. I literally have zero proof that he's cheating on me, besides the voice in my head telling me that he hates me and is with some other bitch. It's to the point where I literally check his location more than once an hour. When he's at work, like why? And his location will be at work, but then here goes my brain. Oh, that motherfucker just left his phone in the car and walked over to her house. Like what? I don't know what's wrong with me. It's so embarrassing. It literally consumes my mind. Travis is so quiet.
I was just like, listening, and then you said the thing about the location. And I'm just like, holy shit. That's a lot.
Yeah. I was also shocked by the amount. More than once an hour.
That's insane. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's insane. And the fact that he's given her zero inclination that he's up to no good, and she's still on it. That's a lot of insecurity or something. I don't know the word, but that's not the way. The obvious thing to say right now is that's not cool.
Yeah. Don't use the word insane though. That's kind of like calling people crazy. We got to be careful with that. It's inappropriate. It's not okay. It's not behavior that is acceptable. Okay.
All those words.
Right.
I apologize.
But I don't want to use the words like crazy, insane, or things like that. Just,
I get it. It's a lot to hear. But keep going. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't always been like this. I think it started this past summer when I peeked over his shoulder and looked at his phone and saw he had another Twitter account that he didn't follow me on. Immediately, I'm like, this bitch is cheating on me. And I've tried to find the account with no luck. But recently, I asked him about it subtly, and he said that it's a basketball account for him to just check on basketball stuff in one place. I just responded with, oh, okay, and that's it. I believe him, honestly. And at the same time I came to visit him, my overthinking was getting insane to where I couldn't hide it in my conversations with him. And I had an emotional breakdown, and he was there to comfort me. And I was explaining to him that I'm sorry if I'm being weird these last few days, but my overthinking has been getting the best of me lately, and it's been hard to stop it from taking over. I want you to know you did nothing wrong, and all my beliefs and worries are based off my brain and not anything you're actually doing. He asked me what it is I was currently overthinking about, and I didn't have the heart to tell him it was me thinking he was cheating on me, although he probably had an idea, because it's not the first time I've mentioned it. I feel like telling someone you think they're cheating on you is such a hurtful thing to lay on someone when you have no real proof. I see videos where they say I should communicate more and get clarity and reassurance with my partner. But if I told this motherfucker every time I thought he was cheating on me, he would think I'm insane. Like, I don't think that's a healthy way to go about what I'm feeling. So it looks like she's very aware because she's even online, like looking up, like, how do I fix this? How do I stop these thoughts?
But does that change it? Because
what do you mean?
I'm aware I have a problem, but I continue to do it.
So I'm going to put my therapist lens on because, after speaking to Kiara.
Okay, Stephanie Luna.
She probably needs to get help instead of trying to do it herself.
Okay.
So she's doing the work. She's aware of it and she's trying to, but maybe she needs a professional to actually help her figure this out. I've also never been cheated on that I know of in my past, but I've been around so many ain't shit men that my thoughts about men have been infiltrated because of it. So many of us can relate. Even before we enter our own intimate relationships, we're already like hate men and are worried and it sucks. A lot of it stems from our fathers, even people that close to us, older brothers, our friends getting heartbroken. So I feel like that part is like the common denominator for many women. And not all of us are going to lead to this level of overthinking or this level of violating our partner's privacy. But everybody's different and everybody deals with certain insecurities in different ways. You know what I mean? However, I do know it's not all men. I know my boyfriend is not like every other man, but I've seen that shit happen where you think he's not like every other man, and then 5 years later, he does some crazy shit. Like I've witnessed it firsthand. How can I not think I'm gonna fall under these same instances? Again, I feel her. Because you have this fear of like thinking you're so guarded. Like that could never happen to me. Ain't me. That ain't happening to me. And then it fucking happens and that shit's embarrassing. It hurts. You feel like you can't trust yourself.
But I also feel like it's not fair to her partner because although that's true and although statistically she's probably correct, right? Mm-hmm. But he has not given her any inclination that he's that type of guy. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if he is going to eventually be that guy, let's deal with it then. But until then, you micromanaging isn't going to change anything.
Very well said.
Like,
I kind of, in my advice to her, I kind of mentioned that. Like, just because you are obsessively checking his location, it's not going to change whether he cheats or not. You're just going to find out sooner or later. But it's not going to change his behavior. So you doing this isn't preventing him from cheating, right? So like you said, he hasn't given her a reason to. So enjoy now. The other part I said is that if he eventually does cheat, that's not on you. Because she's kind of making it like her responsibility to like.
I'm helping us both.
Yeah. Like
if I keep checking his location, he won't cheat. We could continue to have a happy relationship.
It's not on you. That's on him. And it's going to hurt. It's going to suck. But you're going to move on. Right. And I kind of brought it back to the bridge. Right. Because I'm like, what worst case? He does cheat on you. Now what? You're going to give up on love forever. Right. If a bridge collapsed tomorrow, are you never going to get on another bridge? It's like, forget, I'm never leaving. Anywhere I go, there cannot be a bridge to cross because a bridge collapsed. So if he eventually cheats, which he clearly hasn't indicated any signs of it, but like she said, sometimes shit happens. People change, relationships change. There's so many nuances, right? Someone who has zero intent on cheating today could have a change of heart in a year or 2 years. Like things happen. That's life. But if we live in this like constant fear, and that constant fear is now leading you to be, she's the problem now. It's obsessive.
Well, she's always been the problem.
No, I'm saying in this situation.
Okay.
I'm not saying now in their relationship, but I'm saying she's the problem. Yes. Because it's violating his privacy. So I kind of also reminded her, like, you've mentioned how great he is. and how deep down you know he's not doing shit. How would he feel if he found out that she was violating him in this way, this many times a day, all the time? You know me, I don't like that fucking stalkery shit, like checking Instagram, checking our phones. Like, we've always been very open with our phones. Like, you know, you'll answer if somebody calls, or like, I'll be like, oh, help me with this in my phone. But like that sneaky, like going through your phone shit, it's weird to me. So I'm like, how would he feel if he found out you were doing this? Are you willing to risk this, a man that she says is so amazing, so genuine, that she had to jump on it? Is she willing to risk that because of that obsession that is like compulsive at this point?
It's like, wake up, check the local news, the weather, see where my man is.
And it's not only when she wakes up, it's every hour, more than every hour.
So I'm not sure if you're going to get to this, but is he aware that she does this?
No.
He has zero idea.
He has no idea.
Okay.
I feel like he has, remember she mentioned that she brought up, I've been overthinking so much and I feel this way. So he knows she's like, has maybe some issues related to overthinking, like the negativity things, kind of like what she mentioned about the bridge. But I don't think he notices like it has now led her to check his location.
I feel like, I don't know this guy at all, but I feel like from what she says about him, even if he found out, he'd be like, oh, really? You check it that much? I don't think to him it would feel like an invasion of privacy. Because
I don't know. I wouldn't risk it.
Well, no. Well, yeah. I'm not saying she should continue. But what I'm saying is it sounds like he's legitimately not doing anything. He goes to work, he goes home, he goes to work. And if you know that in your core that you're not doing anything, you come to find out like, oh, you're checking on me? Okay, whatever.
But just to like push the envelope, what if these are the beginnings of like some more controlling type of behavior? Like this could be a red flag to, okay, now once we live together, what type of restrictions are you going to have on me? What type of violations of my privacy will you have then? You know, or what if I have a job somewhere where like I lose service when I get there and you can't track my phone? Or, you know, like anything could happen. And this could be like a first step of how the insecurities lead to manipulative and obsessive behaviors. Like,
would you say it falls in line with domestic abuse?
I feel like it's not abuse yet, but it could lead to it. Like, let's say they have a conversation, and this is all, I'm just saying hypothetically, this hasn't happened in this situation. Let's say she confronts, is open about it to him. Says, you know, I've just been having these thoughts and I can't stop overthinking. I can't stop overthinking. So how about you tell me once an hour, just send me a picture of where you are. Now, do you see how this is becoming controlling?
Yeah.
Tell me, I need to just know where you are. Send me a picture. Send a picture with a fork. You ever seen that?
A fork?
So like it's proving that you took the picture right now. Because it had like it'll have a random object.
Gotcha. It's like
when, you didn't. What if you took that picture
like when the hostage is holding today's newspaper?
Yeah, like so you know it's now, it's current. So I feel like it's not abusive yet,
but it has potential for it.
It could lead there if
and
it's not,
without her even knowing that she's like this, become this abuser.
Which is why you need professional help, because someone could like express like, okay, these are the early signs of this potential behavior. Do you want to become this person? You know, I'm not a professional, but to me, I'm thinking of it. If this is a red flag, it's a red flag to what? What's the next step to this type of behavior? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have we ever shared locations?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I feel like I might have shared your location, like if I was going somewhere and I'm like,
I feel like the most I've done is like a Uber. Like, oh, I'm in this Uber.
Did I share my location when I went to DR?
Maybe.
Yeah, right? Like I definitely probably did.
I think that's about it.
I honestly, if you ever go anywhere and you really need me to look at, you need to like show me how to really actually use it. I don't think I've ever like said, let me check where anyone is.
Yeah.
Travis like, yeah, I don't know. Probably be stalking me.
No. No.
Oh, what?
Me?
You could do that?
Oh.
Honestly, and I know that it has bothered me that you're so good with like computers and stuff. Because I always feel like if you wanted to, like I don't think you would, but you could easily access all my shit probably.
Yeah.
See?
So let me say,
Okay.
I'm not an angel in the sense that thoughts like that haven't come across my mind. But I will say that I'm more at peace just letting it go. And whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen. I cannot live in this fucking internal battle of wondering what you may or may not be doing. I focus on how you make me feel right now. I focus on the words that come out of your mouth and whatever else is going on. If there's anything else going on, whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I can't control every part of your life or the people I care about life because it would just drive me insane.
Yeah.
So I just kind of let it go, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And hopefully the plan is just to live a long life together and be happy.
Yeah.
But if I were to go the other route and become Neo from the Matrix, like I know I can be,
yeah,
I don't think it'd be healthy.
Yeah. So don't go in my DMs because Travis could probably find it.
I see all you motherfuckers.
All right. So she was pretty much almost done. The last thing she mentioned was like, I think it's important to mention that my boyfriend's ex most likely cheated on him. And the way he explained the situation made me feel as though he would never do that to someone else. But like motherfuckers could be lying. And then she wrote, you see what I mean? So it's like she's in this battle with herself.
It's a funny email because she's like working it out while she's typing
it.
Like I would, the best advice I can give is the one I basically said, is that you cannot control, like, human beings, or, you know, free will is a thing. So just kind of enjoy the moment, enjoy, like, those things you said about him in the beginning of the email are so beautiful, like the best human you've ever met.
Yeah.
And that sounds amazing. And some people wish they had that. And people in relationships wish they had that. Some people are miserable out here, and, you know, you need to really like see what you have with him as a blessing. It's a positive thing, and don't ruin it yourself, because how miserable would you feel knowing that you could potentially, you know, destroy something that you hold so close to your heart.
Yeah.
Like I said, just live your life, enjoy these moments. I don't want to say if or when it happens, because it may never happen. There may never be anything.
But if it did, it's not the end of the world.
He could very well be the exception.
Yeah.
Not all men are pieces of shit. Not all humans are pieces of shit. They all won't let you down. There are some people who are honorable.
Yeah. And life happens. Piece of advice: stop going through his phone. Stop looking for his location. Like, immediately. Like, there's no, oh, I understand, or maybe just not every hour, once a day. No. It's a complete violation of his privacy, and you need to stop. 2, get help, you know? Because she mentioned, like, I feel like I need support with it besides the relationship, just with the overthinking of different situations, like being on a bridge or X, Y, and Z. I know when those thoughts for me were more invasive and felt more real, I kept saying, like, I need to see a therapist, and I never did, which is terrible. So get support if you need it. I feel like now it doesn't affect me as much, and I probably still need a therapist. So don't do what I did. Get a therapist and get some support.
do as I say, not as I do.
I want to get one. I feel like now we're having issues with our insurance and all this stuff, but I feel like that's one of my goals for 2022.
Yeah.
We're gonna have our own little therapy sessions every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. That could be like that.
If anybody does this already, I know Nia, my friend Nia.
Okay.
She mentioned like she has weekly check-ins with her husband. I don't know if it's weekly or monthly, but they have intentional check-ins. So if anybody else does this, and want to share like their experience or like what specific things they make sure to ask,
or words you can't say. No.
Should we have a safe word?
You can't curse.
I don't know if I could promise that. Today, Travis' mom is like, please, try not to get so frustrated with him while I'm in labor. If he's, asking me if I'm okay too many times. I don't gotta worry about his feelings when I'm in labor. I say, you know what? I can't promise that. You want to give him some advice?
She's taking care of her Pookie.
And then she goes, all right, I understand. I'll talk to him. And then she gave you advice because what? I ain't worried about you.
It's so crazy.
What?
Because y'all, what are we, 20-something episodes in? Steph has discussed my facial expressions, my lack of, whatever.
That's what I'm worried about.
I'm worried about being in the delivery room and then maybe I'm like too straight-faced, or maybe I'm looking too worried, or maybe I'm smiling too much, or I don't know. Or maybe I'm not asking the right question. Am I touching the right part of her hand? Because this woman right here.
My one concern is you look too like lackadaisical. Like if you're just chilling too much.
She's like, do something. Deliver the baby.
And I feel like I expressed that concern with you. Like, just make sure you're alert. Like at least like you're paying attention.
I'm going to be shook on the inside.
I'm not worried that you'll be bothering me too much. Like trying to support me too much.
No, it's not about supporting you. I'm worried that you're going to think that I'm not thinking about the things you asked me to think about.
Because he got resting Mitch face.
Like, did he even look for the baby?
And when I had Eli, my mom was there. So it's like that extra layer of like support. And then my mom is like me in the sense of like, she's asking questions. She's taking names. She's making sure everything's going according to plan. And that nothing looks funny. I get it from her. So I'm like, I wish my mom was there too. I love you. And you have a role in like being my support and my squeezing bag and like all that. But I need you to be my husband and my medical proxy and asking the right questions and making sure I'm okay.
I think he's coming this week.
I was hoping my water broke in this chair. And I'm like,
that'd be some great
my water broke.
That'd be some great content.
But River's like, nah. I ain't here to play with y'all.
I'm not trying to get y'all a million views.
I ain't your entertainment.
Yeah, but I think this week.
I hope so. I want to be home on Christmas.
Oh shit, Christmas is
T minus how many days?
7 a week.
A week. So like I want to be home already with him already here.
All right, I'm gonna work on that tonight, y'all. And hopefully we have an update with a baby soon.
Yeah, everybody's telling us have sex. We never stopped having sex. Do you think that's what it is? Like, is it? I think
there has to be something to that, right? Because
like it works if you've stopped having sex. So now your body's like, dick, what's that? But like, we haven't stopped having sex.
It's like, oh, welcome back.
Like, I don't think we haven't stopped having sex. Maybe a night or two, if that, in between. So I feel like my body's like, all right.
This is normal.
Same old dick.
All right now. Just the same old dick.
So then maybe, baby, what we need.
If you sway the...
Never mind. I was going to say a toy.
Yeah, a toy.
A toy.
Yeah. Okay. She wants that. She wants that foot long.
Hey, yo.
All right. So what do you want to say to Joe Byron right now?
I'm going to say right. Take me out to dinner.
That's terrible. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Oh, wait.
Oh, see, you fucked up.
Baby.
Yeah.
Do you still like me even though I have a mediocre dick?
I didn't say that.
You said
I just said it's the same dick that my body's used to. So it's not going to like make me go into labor.
Gotcha.
It needs some shock value.
Okay.
Oh my God, that sounded so bad.
No, I like that. I like to push that narrative, me and my mediocre dick.
No, baby. I love you. Let's go have some mediocre sex.
Peace, y'all.
Bye.